Here in Berlin, a large rally in solidarity with Israel and in support of the Jewish community in Germany is underway. Thousands have gathered at the iconic Brandenburg Gate to show their support. Among them are also friends and family of those who have been taken hostage by Hamas on the October 7th terror attacks that left more than 1,300 Israelis dead. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier was among those speaking at the rally. He called for an immediate release of all hostages. Well, for more, we can now speak to DW reporter Jared Reed, who is at the rally underway in Berlin. Good to see you, Jared. So what were the strongest messages that have come across at the rally so far?
Well, Mariana, there have been just a lot of impassioned messages here today at the rally. We heard from Ronnie Roman, who is a sister of one of the hostages. She talked basically about the anguish that her and her family have been going through since the October 7 Hamas attack. And it's actually her sister's birthday today. So she asked the crowd to join her in singing happy birthday to her sister. I've been speaking to a number of people, and I guess the overarching mood, is one of sadness. That's why people have come out here today to show their support and solidarity. A young woman I spoke to said that she felt compelled to come out because of the historical crimes that Germany committed against the Jewish people, and that's why she came out today to show her support. An older man I spoke to said that he doesn't necessarily agree with the policies of the current Israeli government, but felt solidarity with Israel and the Israeli people. So lots of different moods and messages here today, but I guess the overarching one is one of sadness.
And now, Jared, we know that since Hamas launched its attack on Israel, and Israel has been taking its retaliatory attacks on Hamas militants in Gaza, all of those casualties in Gaza, what we're also seeing is a really large increase in anti-Semitic attacks, both in Germany and other countries. In Berlin, we just had an attempted firebombing of a synagogue just a few days ago. So how strong is the police presence at this rally today?
Mariana, there are a lot of police around at this rally, and you're right, there has been an increase in violence ever since the Hamas attack. German authorities say that they've registered over 1,000 individual crimes ever since the Hamas attack on October 7. There have been various instances of violence, including, as you say, a Molotov cocktail being thrown at a Jewish cultural centre. So police have been stepping up their presence and security, both at rallies like this one and, of course, outside Jewish institutions in Germany.
And I'm joined in the studio by DW's Middle East analyst, Shani Rosanas, to unpack some of what the German president was talking about. Some very emotional language, very firm, but also very empathic. Shani, what stood out for you?
Well, we've seen this day, it's quite important. We've seen also the messages: we stand with Israel, we stand by Israel. The very fact you see Israeli flags being waved, strongly, proudly out there in the open, in the German capital, that for itself should not be taken for granted. Many Israelis, many Jews living in Germany in the last 2 weeks will tell you they have been living in great fear. The idea of having any recognizable symbol like the Star of David being displayed out loud is something they would never imagine to do for themselves without the support of so many Germans that we're seeing coming today to the Brandenburg Tor, to this symbolic place, the heart of the German capital, in unanimously saying, we support you, we are against anti-Semitism. The message is sent to the Jewish and Israeli population living in Germany and in Europe, I would believe, is quite strong and very much a positive reinforcement they need after 2 weeks where we have seen constant reports of course, the attacks and the raids and incidents and anti-Semitism, but also people, if you talk to them, they will tell you they're not sending their kids to, Jewish schools, Jewish daycares who have been practically shut because of the fear, the great fear that parents have for the well-being of their children. Still in Germany, the symbolism behind that so many years after is quite striking, and the president was talking about that as well, feeling ashamed for that.
And he also mentioned that police have strengthened security for Jewish institutions in Berlin, but also around the country.
Correct.
But is it enough? Like, can Jewish people in Germany feel safe?
Security is always a touchy subject. We always hear more and more from the communities around Germany that feel that they need more support, more financial support in order to have more security. Many times they feel they don't get enough backing from the local government for that purpose. But we also have seen in the last couple of weeks a new campaign around Germany saying the number of days a Jewish institution should be, secured by policemen in Germany should come to 0. So as much as they want the security, they would also very much want to have a different environment in which they feel safe enough to not need that. And Germany is not there, not just Germany, let's be honest. Most Jewish institutions around Europe are such that they need protection. So is sometimes the case in the US. We've seen, this also trickling there. And the fear is immense. So these declarative statements that we're seeing, the symbolism behind so many Germans. We have seen all of the German parties unite here, aside from the right-wing AfD, coming and joining, along with the Christian Evangelist Church and the Confederate of Bishops, all of them joining forces against anti-Semitism in Germany together. This is very meaningful in the statement it's trying to send out loud. We also need to keep in mind, as you said, that Steinmeier is aware of the growing also resentment of German citizens of Palestinian origin who feel that their freedom, their right to show solidarity with what's happening in Palestine, that's also being jeopardized. And they feel that they are not given the right to express their grief and their anger. And he was trying to somewhat tread the line carefully, saying we are against Hamas also because it is jeopardizing the lives and the livelihood and the dignity and the safety of those in Gaza, the Palestinians themselves. Also, again, calling the need for humanitarian corridors and securing humanitarian needs of the Palestinians in Gaza. I'm not sure it's enough for the Palestinians who feel very much that they are, their right of speech is being, pushed aside these days. But it's definitely showing that there is awareness to that, at least in the higher levels of German government.
And can you tell us more about what kind of people would be attending today's rally? You mentioned the major political parties and religious groups, and it does look like a rather large crowd. So who is likely to show up to a rally like this that is specifically in solidarity with Israel and against anti-Semitism, and which groups are likely to maybe stay away? Well,
we've seen, I cannot say, I've not checked myself who exactly is there, but we've seen definitely many people of all the parties. That for itself is quite a big statement. We know that a lot of Muslim organizations that were asked to join were not feeling that this is the kind of event they can take part of, despite of where they stand. Many of them are aware of the complexity, but still cannot find it so easy to be taking part in this event. It seemed very one-sided to many of them. But I can also tell you that as much as this is in solidarity with Jews, it's also probably not attended by too many Jews. The fear of Jews and Israelis in Germany to congregate these days, either, be it in their synagogues, be it on the streets, be it on, schoolyards, the fear is so deep that many of them, I know from firsthand, have chosen also to not be attending today, despite I'm sure that great security and many different enforcements to make sure this is a safe place for anybody who chooses to take part.
Yeah, very tense times for everybody
Indeed.
At the moment. That was Middle East analyst Shani Rosanes. Shani, thank you so much.
You're welcome.